From IBEX in Tampa, I'm Alan Wendt. One of the neat things about doing what I do is getting a chance to meet some of the CEOs of legacy companies. One we haven't had a chance to interview with, I can't remember the last time we interviewed Jason Lippert, but Lippert has really taken a leadership role in this industry with acquiring a lot of other smaller companies on the way to become a much bigger company, and not just in recreational marine, but also RVs, the recreational space. What do you look for when you're looking to put another partner on?
Yeah, so I mean, our MO is like, a good healthy mix of organic growth. That's kind of how we started our business. And then, we sprinkle in some acquisitions here and there. We look for companies that have really innovative product. I think when people think about our business, they think about innovation and what are they going to do next, and how are they going to recreate this widget they've been selling for 10 or 20 years. So at the end of the day, we look for innovation, innovative products, really good leadership teams, and ultimately, companies that our OEM customers and aftermarket customers have come to grow to respect and appreciate.
Do you sit down as a group and go, here's where we need to innovate? What do you tell your team to look for, or how to go about doing what's the next great
innovation
item?
is always organic. It might come through the consumer channel, it might come through a distribution channel, it might come from an OEM channel, it might come from an internal team member that's got a great idea. We wait for those ideas to evolve, and usually it evolves out of some type of need, or somebody says, hey, look, we do this over in this industry with this product, why can't we do it over here with this one? So I like to think about innovation as like, don't try to think about coming up with a next big idea for a product. Those will come, from time to time. The most common innovation is when we innovate existing products. How can we make this product just a little bit better? Add a feature, a bell or a whistle that makes it more appealing to the consumer, or adds, feature or comfort to the consumer that they don't have today.
How do you blend cultures from companies that you've acquired into one company then?
Yeah, it's really simple. Our core values and our leader qualities, those are our foundational aspects of our culture. So, when we bring new companies into the fold, they're generally glad that the company cares about culture. They're not so worried about, well, we had these values and now we have these values. Our values are good. We rally the new company around, our good leadership model, good values model, and just say, look, we might be different than what you did in the past because we're going to hold people accountable each and every day to these things. They aren't just words on the wall. So, it's an accountability mission, hard to execute, but we've got a lot of practice. We've got a cultural playbook and a values playbook that we launch with every single acquisition that we make, and we have our culture team is the first one on the scene. So.
Do you reach out to the acquisition, or does the acquisition reach out to you saying, hey, I'm available?
Both ways. I mean, we're a known acquirer in our markets. We're known as a good acquirer. Somebody, if a seller is gonna release the business into somebody else's hands, they know that Lippert, has a good culture. We treat people well. We treat the sellers well. We pay fair prices. We do the right things with the business. Most owners want to see their business left in good hands, so the people they've been working with for sometimes generations, they get taken care of, and they know that we're a good partner to do that with.
I guess all of them have to have some type of an exit strategy, and sometimes there's a child that wants to take over the business, and sometimes that doesn't work either.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll sell the business with the family member in charge, whether the owner stays on or whether they've just passed the torch, and we take it on and we help that. We give companies the opportunity to grow and get bigger than they ever dreamed because our resources are bigger, our vision's a little bit bigger. So when we take a 20 million company, for us to figure out how to double the company isn't a big deal. For them, it's the world.
It's too big of a number to crunch.
Yeah, sure.
You see on the internet all the time, if you can get a company past that $10 million valuation point, the rest gets easy.
Yeah.
How true is that? I'm sure you find some ideas, single component ideas, and you go, we could acquire them, but you're not really acquiring the rest of that goes with that company. You're acquiring the product.
Yeah, I think that part of it, developing a product and getting the business started, is the hardest part. Scaling it is, it comes a lot easier for us because it's what we do. We've done it 75 times in the last, 25 years.
In your growth strategy, this is kind of taking you away from the product development side when somebody starts a company or takes it over. Do you miss tinkering with the product development, or do you like now the challenge of working on acquisitions, integrating it within the greater recreational space, working on the logistics of transportation today or tariffs that we face?
Yeah, the fun thing is I get to dabble my hands on all that stuff. So, I like the product development. I like the innovation piece. I like leadership development. I like integration and transition of businesses into our model and bring them in to be part of the family. So, there's nothing I don't like or get bored of. It's all fun.
If someone who's going to come to work for you in a leadership position, what are you looking for in the qualities of that individual? How much mentoring still needs to take place?
Well, we all need mentors. I mean, we're all growing. So I would answer that question two ways. We have defined leader qualities, so it's really simple. If you want to lead in our company, you've got to be a good motivator, you've got to be an effective communicator, you've got to be courageous, you've got to be humble and coachable, and you've got to be a servant leader. Those are our 5 leader qualities. You got to be working on those things. You got to be getting better at those things. If and then, right along with it, you need to have an action plan for your leadership development and your personal growth. So, we've got these little cards called leadership action plans in the business. Every human being in our business has to have one. We got to know you're growing. We think that the business is better if people are growing versus people not growing. So, you can use those 5 leadership qualities to kind of guide how you're going to develop and grow and what things you need to work on.
Are there outside leadership opportunities that you'd recommend for others in the industry? I mean, courses to take, books to read, classes, or is it more finding that one-on-one individual who you can kind of latch onto a little bit and have I'll call it a kitchen table discussion from time to time?
I think writing your goals down is the most important thing. Most people just think about their goals. Write them down, write an action plan down, and then find an accountability partner. I don't care if it's a mentor, a family member, or a team member. Find an accountability partner that's going to hold you accountable to those development steps. And I think as long as you can do that, you work the plan. And, ultimately you should grow and develop as a leader, as a human being, if you're doing what's on that plan, right?
As you look forward in the recreational space, what do you see in the year ahead? I mean, everybody's still trying to get their hands around this tariff situation, and I'm wondering, overseas, will there be a market for American-made products? We're always trying to push American-made products within the borders of the U.S., but what's going to happen to our quote-unquote exports?
Yeah, I don't really have thoughts on that. I think that's always an opportunity. It's going to require a lot of resources to do that. It's not just, we're not going to wake up and that's going to happen one day. I like focusing on the markets that we have here. They're big. There's, we touch, whether it's RVs or marine, we touch a very small part of the 350 million people in, the U.S. and Canada, and we have lots of opportunities there. So let's go after those, because if we can grow the market from,
You don't have to be the global giant.
Yeah.
You just have to conquer your local neighborhood.
Yeah, let's not try to be the expert in everything. Let's go after the market that already exists here and build on it. Get more people into the lifestyles of RV and marine and go from there.
Jason Lippert, good to see you at IBEX.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
And we thank you for being with us today. From Soundings Trade Only in Tampa, I'm Alan Wendt.